Hello and welcome back to RimWorld. Last time we managed to get Squirrel into the colony. Well, I mean, get him into a prison cell. I don't know if that counts as being in the colony. I really don't think so. I believe last time Gabe formally took control as the autocrat of this colony. I mean, you know, someone had to take the reins of power. Gabe was there. Gabe was willing and capable, and so, you know, Gabe just took that position. I don't know, is that the best way for it to go? That's arguable, but, you know, we did it anyway. And basically the colony is just continuing its kind of meager and pathetic survival at this point. Because, I mean, it's not like it's a pathetic colony, but it's definitely currently a pathetic level of survival because we're not actually surviving all that well. Come on, Magar, get him in. Get him into the colony. I know that Squirrel is, like, sort of injured and probably not the most happy about the situation. But if you could just convince him to join us, no? Okay, Magar, you fool. I see how it is. Okay, so in addition to everything that we're already doing, we should probably maybe actually start working on this room that's been sitting completely empty for the last, like, 700 years. I mean, just saying, I have not gotten around to actually putting anything in the rec room. So I know that there was this statement that we were going to make wood obsolete, but that was pretty much always going to be a lie because floors, I mean, wood floors are just really, really convenient, so I'm just going to put wood floors in everything and make sure that all the walls are stone so that in the very least, everything inside the room burns and probably dies, but everything around the room is going to be perfectly fine. So, I mean, all that anyone ever has to do to make certain that they're not killed in this colony is not be in any room, which I don't find to be the most ridiculous thing to request of people. I mean, don't they understand the basics of survival? The basics of survival are, of course, if in room equals death. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe they're crazy. Regardless, we're going to continue to build up our colony. And I've realized that, you know what? Mr. Squirrel doesn't actually have a room once he becomes part of the colony, so that's why we're setting this up. It's going to be a nice little room for Squirrel. He's going to have the most happy time sitting in there, contemplating life and death, up until the point that he's probably torn to pieces by some form of timberwolf. Because being torn to death by timberwolves is, I believe, 25% of all deaths in this region are from timberwolves. So, you know, that's a pretty significant quantity of deaths. And of course, we don't count the pirates in deaths because they were never really alive to begin with, were they? No, their life doesn't matter. You know, I'm just really, really tempted to just go in and take out this room. Oh, it sounds like a bad idea. Feels like a bad idea. But you know what we are? We are basically the barons of bad ideas. I think I'm going to open it up. I think we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going in. I know this is definitely not the time to go in, but we're going to do it regardless. So we're going to set up probably a wall right here. And we need room for 5 people, so probably just getting rid of that. And we set that little defensive line up. And then we can, as soon as Squirrel actually becomes part of the colony, which is probably a bad decision, I mean, he's probably going to take as much time as anyone else takes to get into the colony, which is quite a while, actually. As soon as Squirrel joins us, we'll do some crash raid on this antediluvian horror that we have sitting next to our colony, because, you know, I don't like antediluvian horrors any more than the next guy. And quite frankly, the next guy really doesn't like antediluvian horrors, so it's just a small thing there. Oh, nice. So, Squirrel's room is getting set up quite nicely there. Hopefully soon enough we can get Squirrel in, because, I mean, Squirrel, you have to realize, this colony, it's the best colony in the world. Arguably, sort of, you know. I mean, that's quite a statement, actually. It's really not the best colony in the world, but it's definitely getting up there. I mean, it's pretty close. Squirrel, how do you feel about your current environment? It's still hideous. Are you serious? That's a hideous room. That room looks beautiful. That room is maybe the best room in the colony. That's not true. Probably the best room in the colony is, what would we call the best room in the colony? I don't know. I think this will be the best room in the colony, but it's not quite there yet. Can we turn this off? This is so annoying. There we go. Okay, so we're building up the floors here. We're building up various rooms. Gabe has apparently done some cloth farming, which is quite appreciated, because one of the things we want to put in this room is a nice, solid billiards table. So that's going to go right there, and that'll be perfect. Ooh, cargo pod. What do we got? A bunch of potatoes. I like potatoes. You know what? I feel very good about that cargo pod. Should probably get someone to actually, you know, move that cargo pod. Can you not cook a simple meal instead? Actually maybe haul some of this stuff back to the stockpiles? Because just saying, I don't like rotten potatoes any more than the next guy, unless it's fermented potatoes and it turns into vodka, whereas then I'm like, yeah, okay, that's okay. But if we're talking about like actual, like black rotting potatoes, just like disgustingly sitting in a box, just staring up at you with their big, cold, empty eyes, thinking to itself, my word, how have I come to this point to be a rotting sack of potatoes? I'm not really all about that. And if you ever have a moment where you actually think that about potatoes, you should probably consider talking to a psychiatrist, because if you really think that a potato is staring up at you with black, soulless eyes, I think you have a problem. Somewhere, at some point in your life, you've done something wrong that has caused you to think that that's a thing, because it's not a thing. I can assure you that doesn't happen. In the very least, all of the potatoes are in fact being put into storage, and they are being frozen so that they will not become black death potatoes. Not to say that there's anything necessarily wrong with being a black potato. It's just saying that when you're a death potato, that's usually a bad thing. Look, people, don't get too up in arms about that one. Potatoes have feelings too, and I'm trying to respect the feelings of as many potatoes as I possibly can, but it just so happens that it's not easy to actually, like, how would you call that? Cater to every potato. This small talk has gone to very strange places. I'm going to stop talking about potatoes because it's actually starting to concern me as much as it's probably starting to concern you, because I don't even know what I'm on about. I'm just idly doing a bunch of like RimWorld stuff. Oh my word. Wait a minute. People moved all of the leather out of the kitchen? No, I don't believe it. That's a lot. That's beautiful. That's amazing. I can't believe they did that, because I would never have expected anyone in RimWorld to actually get around to doing anything of any particular value outside of planting fields, but man, they have proven me wrong, that is for certain. Okay. Aiden, what are you doing? You're consuming a simple meal? What does she do in the colony? I don't even know. Really, the only people I know what they do in the colony is Magar and Gabe. They basically... Magar does the research, Gabe does the fields. Hopefully Squirrel will join with the fields soon enough, because he has terrible growing. Maybe the worst growing. Really? 4.7% chance to bring in Squirrel? He's not even that hard to bring into the colony, guys. Ooh. In the very least, we are actually getting pretty close to finishing that research. That's just basic microelectrics. So, we're gonna need a high-tech research bench before we can do anything else with that. That is going to be a nuisance. It's going to require a lot of steel and a considerable quantity of resources, components to actually get that done. And then that's gonna require electricity. Oh my word, I can't even. Now we got some corn. I appreciate corn. I like corn. Corn is really like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I put it at about a 7 in terms of foods. It's definitely no chocolate, and it's not even close to like, I don't know, ribeye, but corn is pretty good. It's definitely better than gruel. How you doing, Squirrel? You gonna join the colony now, Squirrel? Because I'd like to do a death charge against an antediluvian horror. And quite frankly, I need you to be part of that death charge. Okay. How are we gonna do this? We need somebody to switch to... Oh. Every colonist of the male gender winces in pain. Well, there's only 2 of those, so that's not the end of the world. We need to get someone to do some mining, so I think we'll get Cherie to go down and do some serious mining. Aiden can do, I guess, cooking. Does she do cooking? Let's see. She's currently not a cook. You know what? Actually, Cherie is not going to do mining. Aiden is going to do mining. Because I think right now Aiden is just doing stockpiling. So it'll be for the best that we get her on something good. What can we do here? So we can't start on geothermal power quite yet. But it could be worth. Probably, I mean, we're already working on hydroponics, so we might as well continue researching hydroponics for now. And then try to get a, what are these? The high-tech research bench. So that should be under production, I believe. Yeah, there it is. We need 250 steel and 10 components. And we definitely have the components. We just need a bunch of steel. We only have 50 steel right now. And a lot of that is going to be used, well, only a small bit is going to be used on sandbags for the ultimate charge against the antediluvian threat, which definitely needs to be destroyed at some point, because I don't like anything that has occurred before a flood. And that is literally what antediluvian means, so, you know. If you haven't actually experienced a flood in your life, you deserve to have a terrible, vicious raid executed upon you. Not for any particular reason, just because I feel like it. I mean, you know, given that we are the alien overlords of this colony, as has been determined, I think we get to do whatever we want to. And drop whatever, like, knowledge bombs are necessary, including knowledge bombs about floods. Squirrel, come on. Oh, 3% chance. Is nobody in this colony actually good at talking to people? Because that seems to be a thing. You know, I would have thought that talking to people was easy for you guys. I mean, at least one of the 4 people in this colony has to have some form of skill at talking to people. Oh my word. Jeez, Aiden does not like people. Aiden has -3 opinion of Magar, -20 of Squirrel, -23 on Gabe. That's probably because he is in a position of power. And apparently, she really likes Cherie. So, I mean, that's basically all that's going for her. My word, that is ridiculous. She is not a very happy person. And she's disfigured? Oh yeah, her right eye has a scratch scar from a timber wolf. Nice. There you go. Has nobody... Oh, my word. Nobody's turned on the cooler yet. Guys, we're in the middle of a heat wave. People are going to die of heat stroke. You can't just, like, not turn on the coolers. Cherie... She's not assigned to flicking. Really? Who is assigned to flicking? Somebody better be... Oh, my word. Nobody is assigned to flicking. Cherie, you're gonna flick stuff. Jeez. Why is flicking its own particular task? It's kind of weird. I'm gonna level with you. Can you please flick that cooler? We really need it on. People are dying of heat stroke here. Wait, did I turn off the cooler? No, I don't think I turned off the cooler. Did I? No, I'm pretty sure I turned the cooler off. Was that on all winter? Who left the cooler on all winter? Who did that? No, it's ridiculous. Let's just drop the temperature in there so we can try to drop, if at all possible, the temperature in every other room. We're gonna really need another cooler if that's gonna happen, but we'll work on it. We'll work on it. So we definitely have only 6 steel in the colony right now. That is bad. I mean, we do have another 60 over here, but that's not quite an acceptable quantity of steel. We need much more than that. Oh, look, we got the pool table up and running. Let's try to get a, we're gonna put a chess table in here, and we're gonna put another chess table in here, and everybody is going to learn to like chess, and if they don't like chess, well, they're really gonna have to get over it, because, quite frankly, that is what we are going to play in this colony. Oh my word, Squirrel! Welcome to the colony. Squirrel is now a human being who is doing work. Squirrel! You are not allowed to do research because Magar is better at research than you are. By a little bit. By enough, okay? Jeez. No research for you. What are you gonna do? You're gonna do some mining. You're gonna do some growing. Yeah, that's what you're gonna do, Squirrel. Go be a peasant, Squirrel. Jeez. Ooh, a peasant squirrel? I mean, I feel like all squirrels are, on some level, a peasant. Because I don't really think there's any aristocratic squirrels. I don't know if you've seen squirrels before, but they do not come off as particularly aristocratic creatures. They're definitely lower class. If not, like, low middle class. I mean, that's maybe a technical distinction, but it's a distinction that needs to be made. Okay, Squirrel also needs a weapon, because he currently doesn't have one. You're gonna get a standard survival rifle, which is still arguably maybe a bolt-action rifle, which annoys me more than you would think, because I would really prefer for it to be a semi-auto in the very least. Oh my word. Manhunting pack of boom rats? I mean, who came up with that? Which developer decided manhunting packs of boom rats were gonna be a thing? Where are they? Where'd they go? Oh my word. Run, Aiden, run! They're coming for you! Oh my goodness, they are actually really coming for her. Come on, go, 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 go! Oh my goodness, okay. That is forbidden. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is ever leaving this colony again. Don't try to break down my door. You leave my door alone, you disgusting boom rats. Jeez. Well, okay. In the very least, we are forever going to be held up by a bunch of boom rats. This is going to be the continued life of the Rambonian castle. We will never again leave because there's 1,000 boom rats outside. Actually, we will eventually. They'll go away at some point, and then we'll be fine. But until then, I mean, we're not leaving. We are staying very nicely inside because I do not want to deal with boom rats. So in that case, we do kind of still need steel. I mean, just because a bunch of boom rats attacked doesn't mean that the colony's priorities have changed much, if at all. Okay, let's try to... Looks like there's some steel right in this area. You can see a little bit of it just sticking out there. So we're gonna have people kind of like dig into this side wall. We're gonna try our best not to let the boom rats in, because if they get in, I mean, basically all of civilization is going to collapse. It's kind of like if you introduce the bubonic plague, except that instead of the bubonic plague, it's a bunch of exploding rats. I think you can see how that would cause some sort of civil unrest on at least some level. Because, you know, rats generally cause a level of civil unrest. When they also explode upon death, that just makes things all the worse. And I don't think Gabe is currently the sort of leader that can deal with exploding rats. Anyway, with our current siege, where we are permanently stuck within the Rambonian fortress, that will bring us for now to the end of the episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Next time, we will continue our journey, of course, not leaving the colony ever, because those things are absolutely vicious. And if wargs could tear our colony apart with ease, boom rats can do a lot worse. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching, and of course, as always, enjoy the rest of your day.